This one's going to be a tougher video to make and probably a tougher video to watch. This is already my third re-recording because I just keep yapping and getting very sidetracked, specifically with these sleeves. If I randomly change shirts at some point in the video, not only will you know because the shirt will be different, you'll also know because my editing skills suck. That's number one. That's the first self-deprecating thing I've said. Kind of. Not really. I feel like that's not really that bad. Like, I feel like that's just fair. Like, I feel like that's kind of a fact. Like, I don't have good editing skills. But I'm going to try and say in 2 minutes what in the other two recordings took me like 8. Basically, I'm recording this video because I cannot talk to people in real life without it feeling like this picture. You'll see, you know, the Giga Chad, me. See the Giga Chad thinking of himself as the little chud wearing a shirt that says Loser Depressed Club. Sorry. Sorry, okay. I'll lock in. I promise, maybe. I don't have to do anything for you. I can do whatever I want. Anyways, I'm running out of time for the 2 minutes. And it's going to feel like that for me, probably this whole video. And that's what it felt like when I posted the Valentine's thing. Not in the Valentine's special, it did not feel like it while I was recording it, but then I started getting like I got like 10 likes and 7 comments that were like, dude, you're BSing. Like, you're LARPing. You're not actually ugly. There's no way. Like, which I still think I am. I still think I'm not a good looking person, despite the absolute mog I just had like 40 seconds ago. I'm not counting. Someone tell me, was it 40, 30, 20, 10? And I don't know. I feel like this video is actually going to be relatable, but not relatable, but I feel like people aren't going to hate me as much for it as the other one, because I feel like this one, I mean, it's mental. Like, you can really never tell what's going on in someone's mental, but a lot of people do assume that I don't have these thoughts, again, because it looks like I'm very well put together most of the time. At boxing, I don't want to let my ego talk, but I feel like I'm one of the better boxers there in my class, which I am in just the beginner's class. And I've been in the beginner's class for like probably 4 months time now, like actively, because I had like 2 to 3 months, if I remember correctly. My memory's so bad, where I was very sick for like 2 to 3 months and I did not go at all. It was 2 or 3, I don't remember. Maybe it was like 2 in 2 weeks. But so I've been going for like 4 months time total. I've been enlisted for like 7 months, but it took a little while for me to actually start being able to go to the classes and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sidetracked and it doesn't really matter. But I think I'm one of the better ones there, which could 100% just be my ego talking. I'm not a coach. I don't really see myself except from this perspective, which does not really, on this side, I mean, if you are a boxer yourself, you can probably see what I'm doing wrong if I'm doing anything like crazy wrong. But for me, it looks like, hey, I'm doing pretty good. Like, I'm keeping it right. But, you know, I don't get to see myself from another perspective. Sorry, the back of my hand is so dry. I keep rubbing it and it feels really weird. It feels like a reptile. But yeah, at boxing, I do pretty good. I've always had very good grades. They dropped last year because, I wasn't like, I can't say I was depressed because I was not like clinically diagnosed, and that's a serious thing. But I was like very, very messed up and very sad for a while because my grandpa died. And anytime I got a test on like in any of my classes, I think the only tests that I actually took were my math tests because they were only like 5 questions long consistently. And the ones that were longer than that, I just did not take them. I would just randomly press buttons on like all my tests. And even then my grade only went down to like 70. Because it wasn't every test. It was just when I was like, I don't have the energy to do this and I need to move on with my day. So I would just, and then move on. I'm still retaking some of them. But you know what? I've got an A in every class except 2, which I think I have very high B's in because I haven't retaken all the tests yet. But I do very well in school. I do very well in church. The current church that I'm going to, I'm kind of just a background character, but the other church that I went to, I was on the up and up, actually. I was doing really good for myself there. I was even kind of becoming a bit of a leader. And, you know, that was exciting. But anyways, we need to get on with the video. I said, I did the 2-minute mark, by the way. I did the 2-minute mark, just as a little side note. But before people are like, dude, you're LARPing, there's no way. Like, I'm gonna tell stories today. And I just don't want to hear people talk about it because it's really annoying to hear people, like, kind of, what's it called? De-evaluate? No, that's not right. Remove the value from something that's happened to you just because they assume that it's not plausible. Sorry. But yeah, the title of the video is that I am my own least favorite person, and that's true. And I think for a lot of people that's true just because, you know, we spend so much time with ourselves and yet we understand ourselves so little. I think that is the point I think it's that for most people. For me, I feel like I have a pretty good, actually I feel like I have a very good self-reflection. I feel like I know myself very well, and I think that kind of pulls it together more for me, actually. When I was younger, I never doubted myself, and I was very, very prideful. And I know I'm saying that as a 14-year-old, so it doesn't really matter, but ever since I was a kid, and again, this is probably just my ego talking, but it's also kind of undeniable. I've always been very smart, and mentally, I've never felt my age. Mentally, I've always felt like I was like maybe like 5 years older than I actually am. So I was very ego-filled, and it's like a daily occurrence that I have to humble myself. At night, I have to remember, I remember 5 things during the day that went well, and then one thing where I'm like, I messed up and I have to work on this, and then that becomes the goal for like a while. Like I have a lot of things I'm working on 24/7 just on myself, which I feel like is a good way to live. But I mean, going to sleep sad is never a good thing, you know? But I mean, I feel like for me, it's like I'm kind of trying to pay back the things that I've done wrong in my life. And, you know, like, not in the way, like, Thorfinn or Arthur Morgan are, where, you know, like, they've killed people. I haven't killed people, but I've certainly hurt a lot of people because I didn't really care about anybody but myself for years. Like, to me, it was literally just me. I had no reason to care about anybody else. So, yeah, for my first few years, I was an edgelord. I was an avid edgelord. In fact, sometimes not sometimes, on the daily, pretty much, I watch documentaries about, like, chronically online people that went insane, or, like, outcasts that committed like, horrific crimes. And in no way am I, like, excusing their actions or saying that I would ever do this, but a lot of the times I can actually relate to these people in, like, how their youth was, and I'm like, I have to sit and I'm just like, damn, if I didn't do this one thing, or if I didn't meet this one person when I was younger, my life would have permanently been on the downtrack. It would be on the downtrack, and I could have easily ended up like one of these people. That's also what I think about, like, a lot of incels and lol cows. It's like I could have easily become one of these people as a kid, because you'll realize a lot of them have very antisocial tendencies along with sociopathic tendencies, which I'm going to get to that in a second. And they also very prideful, like very narcissistic. The sociopathic tendencies, again, I'm not diagnosed with I don't think I'm a sociopath, all right? I'm not that big a loser to self-diagnose myself with anything, especially not something that serious. And I know that I'm not a sociopath because I do feel emotions. I think I just have I think I have both a lot of trouble confronting my emotions, but also conveying and actually feeling them. It's very hard for me to feel emotions. Except for anger. I feel like 60% of the time, if I'm not neutral, I'm angry. And, that's something I really have to work on. That's another reason why I'm not really the biggest fan of myself. I'm trying to avoid saying that I hate myself, because the truth is that I don't. And that's also, I think audibly saying I hate myself is one of the worst things that someone could do, because it kind of, it's just them admitting and accepting the fact that they kind of suck. And I'm admitting that I kind of suck, but I'm not, I just said the word. I literally just said the word. How did I forget? Accepting. I'm not accepting that I suck. And part of not sucking is noticing when you do suck and if you suck. And I feel like I've made good progress with that, but I forgot what I was saying. Hang on, I'm going to go relook at the footage and then I'll come back to you and get back on track. Sorry, I went off track right there, but 1 second, please. Right, I'm back. Okay, so what I was saying was, like, I really struggle with emotions a lot, and shirt change, by the way. The horrors are never ending, yet I remain silly. I have a passion for dumb shirts. This is only my second one, but I every single time I make a Christmas or a birthday list, there's at least like 5 dumb shirts on it, and I only ever did one. People don't realize how badly I want these things. They're not gag gifts. I want them. I wear them around. Like, I leave the house wearing these shirts. And you know what? It's the only way I get people to look at me, so. The only way I get girls to look at me, at least. Which, is kind of needed. If you look at me, I need a gag. I need a trick to get their attention, I really badly need to cut my nails, but I think I left my nail clippers in my parents' bathroom because I let my little brother use them. I didn't let him use them. I cut his nails because he's like 4 years old, so he can't cut them himself. And I think I forgot them in there, and then every time I remember I need to go get them, it's already too late. Like, it's too late at night, or my dad's working, and then I forget during the times where it's actually available, which sucks really bad, actually. But, what happens, happens. So I was biting my nails right there, sorry. I bite my nails even when they're short. In fact, matter of fact, this nail has not grown in like 3 months because it's the first one I go to nibbling. And it's not like anxiety that makes me do it. Sometimes if I'm watching a movie that's like panic-inducing, I bite it a lot. Or if it's like stressful, I bite it a lot. But I also just do it to do it. Like, if I'm bored, it's just... I don't want to say stimming because that's like an autistic thing and it's also a TikTok buzzword, but that's really the only word I know that fits the situation, so it's just stimming. I'm not autistic, believe it or not, actually. A lot of people think I am. I'm not. However, there might actually be a chance that I am. And this is going to lead... The sociopathic thing leads into this, so I'm actually glad I went on that little ramble. When I was 9 years old, I started studying psychology and sociology because I didn't understand people. I still don't really understand people. I understand myself a lot, because originally the understanding other people was only like a side thing, and the main thing was I want to know why I'm the way I am. Like, I want to know why I stick out like a sore thumb. That thumb's not sore. Are either of them sore? No. I'm sorry. I tried figuring it out. I don't have a sore thumb. I almost burped. That's why I sounded like that one guy. Kronk at Disco. Was that a pretty good impression? I think that was actually pretty decent in my ears. Which, fun fact. I'm going to do a video of fun facts, actually, because I'm always telling my friends fun facts, except I only have 2 friends, and one of them rarely ever talks to me because he's a very busy lad, and he's an insanely dry texter, and he's back in the state that I lived in before I moved to where I am. Right, stay on track. I started learning about psychology and sociology so that I could understand other people. And once I started to understand myself, that's when understanding other people became the main goal. And I feel like now I actually can hold a conversation, but it's very draining. It feels like performing. Like, I can hold a conversation. I can be the good, like, I don't say good guy because that feels like an incel thing, but I can be good. I can behave, But when I was younger, I could not do that because I just didn't understand other people to the point where I could not talk to them. Most of the other kids, I couldn't even play with them because they had such, like, they just thought in such different ways that it was quite literally impossible for me to actually, like, have fun with them because they wanted to play sports or play with their physical toys, and I was making storylines, and I was like I literally played by myself from like 2nd grade all the way to the end of 3rd grade, and like halfway through 4th grade, and then halfway through 4th grade I actually made a bunch of friends, and then we all would just talk during recess instead of like playing or anything. But I would literally just play by myself, talking to imaginary people, going on imaginary adventures. And that recess was my favorite time because that's not true. Reading was my favorite time. Look at this loser. History and reading have always been my favorite subjects. See, look, the camera's not going to be able to, is it going to focus? No, it's not going to see it. If you have good eyes, maybe you can see it, but I have a piece of the nail that's sticking out and it's hitting the skin underneath, and it's very uncomfortable. Well, I just got it first try, actually. Never mind. I just threw it on the wall. I don't know why I did that. I literally don't know why I did that. But, right, psychology and sociology thing. And it again made me feel very different from everybody, because now that I understood everybody, I could act like I fit in, but then when I didn't have the energy to act, all I was thinking on is I think of all these other people and everyone else is just thinking of themselves, everyone else is just able to effortlessly do that, and I have to perform. And it told on my mental health for a while, actually. And I don't do it anymore. I don't care about people. I don't care about other people. No, I shouldn't say that. I care about other people, but I don't care anymore to put on a performance and act like someone I'm not. Because if I have to do that, then you're not worth having a friend. I know that it seems like I complain about having such few friends, but I would rather have these 2 friends. Actually, I have 3 friends now. I made another friend that is like actually good. I at boxing. I have 3 friends. But I'm happy. I would rather have these 3 friends than 10 friends that I have to perform with. And not a lot of people are going to understand that. But then there's also going to be a lot of people where that strikes resemblance with. But you get to hear it. Hopefully you're able to think of other people like I am now. I think if you're this far in, either you really relate to me, or you can think of other people, or you just have me playing in the background and you're not really paying attention. If so, pay attention! That was rude. I apologize. I shouldn't have done that. If you did have your headphones on max, that would be kind of funny, though. Like, if I jump scared you. Did I jump scare you? You're busy sweeping and then... Did I scare you? No? Okay. That's okay. That's all right. Not everyone can be very cool. Anyways, this video is getting too long. I'm going to tell one story where I felt like I really did not fit in at all. And that is it's going to be, okay, 6th grade. Matter of fact, I'm going to do drawings with it. In 6th grade, I joined my school's strategy gaming club. Because of the glare, you couldn't even see me writing that, so that was a dumb visual. I guess I apologize. I don't know. Yeah. I might need a new black marker soon, actually. It's drying out. Oh man, it's leaving streaks. What the hell? Let me use a different one then. Purple. We got purple. And I came specifically for chess. Not chess. That's for hyper nerds. I'm not a hyper nerd. Checkers. I still am very good at checkers. And I came specifically for checkers, but when I got there, they had an unlisted game. They had not listed it on the club's thing. And that game is D&D. Technically, that's Do Not Disturb. You guys can't even see it because of the purple and the glare. All right, I give up on the whiteboard right now. They had D&D, which stands for Dungeons and Dragons, which is a tabletop RPG where everyone has their own character and you roll dice and you play with cards for certain things, and there's this huge rule book that you have to read, but it's really not that bad, honestly. You procrastinate for a while and you read it and be like, oh, this actually makes a lot of sense. It's very, very fun if you are like me. And I was a dungeon master. I am a dungeon master. I just have not played in years. In years being 2 years. And I was like, oh my God, I have to play this. So I got my one friend at the time, who was one of the 3 friends. He's the one back in the other state. And he joined me. And then he got his friend to join us. And his friend also was like us. Like, he could actually keep up. And then I got 4. I put up 4 for a reason, because it's actually 4, not 3. If you're paying attention, I'm doing a quiz. I'm going to start doing quizzes for my shorter videos so that I can log. Not this video, because this video is long. Okay, but for my shorter videos, in order to bring out the video length, we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing quizzes, okay, at the very end. We'll do that. We'll keep it to like 5 questions max, multiple choice. So you'll have your answers written for you. And then you know what? In the end, you can tell me how you did, but not for this video. That'll be next video probably, because next video is going to be the random facts, I think, and that'll be really easy. Also, because I didn't post for 2 weeks, I am going to try to post once a day this week. Once every day this week, which should be easy because I'm on spring break. So it should be pretty easy to keep that up. Sorry, I'm talking really fast. I gotta catch my breath, man. being such a chud, like, I just got the low battery. I don't know what that's going to look like in the recording. My battery's low, though, so I really need to hurry this up. My own mom is also asking me to do something, which I'm not going to read it right now, but I'll read it afterwards. I sounded really weird right there. That was really weird. That was really weird. That was really weird. Anyways, I'm itchy. I have to shower. I went on like a 5-minute rant, sharing way too much. Long story short, I got a rash on the back of my hand, and I'm pretty sure it's spreading, so I'm gonna go shower after this. Anyways, back to the actual point of the video, the story. And those 4 other people that I added, I think they all came for one session, and then maybe one of them would show up for every other session after that. So I had to fill for one of them. I had to fill for 2 of them as the Dungeon Master, which is like rule number 1. You shouldn't do that because you're going to get biased for these characters and their story is going to be different. Which I try to keep myself from doing, but it was my first time Dungeon Mastering, so I really don't remember how I did. I think I remember, all I remember is I gave a guy a custom item that I made, which was a gnome, where it was a one-time thing. If you touched his nose, his garden hat would shoot out, and I think it was either like a missile or a harpoon. I don't remember. But, you know, it did not go well. And that's when I really knew, like, I don't fit in with anybody. Because I had already tried. I was in the advanced classes. It was my first time being in the advanced classes. Everybody in the advanced classes sucked. They were all so insufferable. Half of them were wannabe gangsters that somehow got good grades despite the fact that they literally very obviously do not care about school and do not behave. So I almost wonder if they like bribed a teacher to get them into advanced classes or something. I don't know. Maybe they're just effortless like that. I don't know. And then there was the other 30%, which was the popular preppy girls, which this is a wild story. I'm going to save this for another video. Long story short, I was sat with these popular girls literally every single day of my homeroom and then again in my science room. Not my science room. My homeroom was my science room. My history room. 6th grade history was the only time I've ever hated history because my teacher sucked. She was awful. And you know what? That'll be a story time. I'll do a story time video too. I have to come up with ideas. So we'll do a fun facts and then we'll do a story time. Maybe I'll post twice tomorrow actually because my brain, I want to keep recording, but I'm running out of time. We are almost at the 30-minute mark, which is really, really bad because I told myself I wouldn't be doing that anymore. Anyways, let me go find today's item. Not find, I have it right here. I have it prepared. This is Frank Sinatra, Nothing But the Best, which has Come Fly With Me, The Best Is Yet to Come, The Way You Look Tonight, Luck Be a Lady, Bewitched, The Good Life, The Girl from Ipanema, Fly Me to the Moon, Summer Wind, Strangers in the Night, Call Me Irresponsible, Something Stupid, which is the best Frank Sinatra song, by the way. I love that song. My Kind of Town, It Was a Very Good Year, That's Life, Moonlight Serenade, Nothing But the Best, Drinking Again, All My Tomorrows, My Way, Theme from New York, New York, Body and Soul for the bonus track. And this is a CD my grandpa gave me because, believe it or not, I was actually, I don't want to say in love, because, like, no, I was pretty in love. I was pretty starstruck with the girl. And before you cringe and roll your eyes, which it was feel free to cringe and roll your eyes, but I never, like, sung to her or sent her recordings of me singing. But I did sing a lot of Frank Sinatra because it made me think of her. and he heard me singing, and you know what? Again, I'm never going to post about it unless if I get paid. I think I'm actually a pretty decent singer. Obviously, I don't sound exactly like Mr. Sinatra, but I think it was pretty close. He seemed impressed with my singing, and he gave me that. And it's really the only time I've felt connected to him a lot. He's lived with me my whole life, but you guys know how a lot of old men are, especially old men that like to drink. That's the only thing he likes to do. Anyways, do I say the thing? Do I say the thing? It's not catching. Nobody cares about it. Who am I joking? I'm the one that made a video about never giving up. I'm saying the thing, okay? It's Truman Show inspired because that's my third favorite movie. When I first started my channel, it was my favorite movie, which obviously is the inspiration. By the way, they replaced Jim Carrey with a clone. Just kidding, it's not a clone. If you guys have ever read Sunrise on the Reaping, one of the people that gets chosen to fight in the ring. I'm trying to find a way to say this without getting struck. Was a little girl, and she kicked the bucket. But it was before the Hunger Games started, so they had to replace her. So they brainwashed another little girl that looked semi-similar to her, and then made her undergo a lot of surgery to look like her, to look like the OG. I'm pretty sure that's what happened with Jim Carrey, honestly. Except they didn't really do a good job brainwashing because this guy doesn't even act like him. Like he does not act like him at all. Anyways, good morning, good noon, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Somebody please tell me if good noon is actually a thing. Goodbye.